Hey guys, welcome back to another Underground Virtuosos video. My name is Paul. I'm a violin viola teacher located in San Diego, California. So today we're going to be talking about how to play a better sound for double stops. If you don't know what a double stop is, it's basically playing two notes at the same time, something like this. Yeah, where you play two notes at the same time. Okay, so let's get into it. I've divided the topic into three parts. The first one is contact point, the second one is balance between the two notes, the two strings, and the last one is the follow through. Okay, so we're going to talk about all these three things. These are, I would say, the suggestions I find myself offering a lot to students that are first trying to learn how to play double stops. Okay, so let's talk about it. The first one is contact point. Now, for most of us, I would say we know the contact point. The meaning of contact point is uh, we can place our bow anywhere between the fingerboard and the bridge, right? Our bow could be near the fingerboard here, could be in the middle, could be more towards the bridge. This is what contact point is. And for most students, when they're first learning double stops, they find themselves to be playing with the contact point kind of near the fingerboard. And I'm going to explain why this is not good. Okay, but first I'm going to do a demonstration for you. I'm going to play on open A string only. Okay, then after a couple strokes, I'm going to press a little bit harder on the bow. And then you should hear the open D come into play. But what I want you to pay a lot of attention to is, what does the sound like? Does it sound good? Or does it sound like something's weird, something's off a little bit? Okay, here we go. So open A and then add pressure, and then you'll hear a little bit of open D. Okay, so as you heard, after a few open A's, then you hear the open D. But did it sound good? No, it didn't sound good. And that's because on the open A string, I started on open A, right? But without changing the angle and only adding more pressure, my bow was able to get onto the open D string. But the problem is, then you have a lot more pressure on the open A than on the open D. Yeah, if that makes sense to you. So let me explain this one more time. If you are playing on one single string and then you press hard enough, playing near the fingerboard area here, because it's a lot easier to press here. If you're playing on one string there, a single string, and then you press hard enough, your bow is actually going to touch another string. Yeah, and that's actually a mistake. Even though students, when they first start learning double stop, they find it easier there because they're using pressure to make another string, come into play. That's the wrong way to do it. Okay, so first of all, contact point. Do not play near the fingerboard when you're first learning how to play double stops, because then you'll find yourself pressing rather than changing angles when you are not hearing two strings, instead you're only hearing one. Okay, so contact point, play near the middle. Okay, directly in between the fingerboard and the bridge. Yeah, so directly here, not here, but here. Okay. Now the second topic that leads us into the balance of the two strings. Okay, so what I would like you to do first is make sure when you place your bow onto the string, you are very relaxed in your bow hold, very relaxed in your arm, not stiff or anything, and you're just going to feel out. First of all, you're just going to feel out. I want you to place both, place your both on both strings, on open A and open D, or for violas, maybe on your open D and open G. And what you're going to do is you're going to be on both strings, and you're just going to do a little bit of this wiggle motion here. And you should see that your strings are actually moving kind of like this motion. Okay? Now, after you find a nice balance, okay, this is why it's important to find nice balance. After you find nice balance, then start a down bow with that. Okay, one more time. All right. right? So it's important that you find nice balance. If you're hearing something like this, then you're not finding the right balance. If your sound kind of goes in and out, in and out, in and out, and you hear one note and then the other one keeps on going in and out, then you're not finding the right balance. Okay, so make sure you have the right balance on both strings, and then start the bow. Okay, and that leads us to the last topic, which is the follow through. Follow through is extremely important when it comes to the double stops, because if you don't follow through properly, you're going to go from double stop to playing a single note. Okay, so this is one very common mistake among students, is once they start playing the double stop, they change the angle. And it's not quite they want to, but they don't realize it because they are not thinking about the follow through. The arm has to follow through in the same plane, same angle, to allow the bow to continue in that same direction, like so. Okay, I see a lot of students go like this, and watch the arm very carefully. Watch this part. Or, right, they're lifting up or they're going down, and that's why you go from double stop to a single note. So it's very important that you work on making sure you're following through, so that you hear both sounds. Okay, open string practice. Open D, open A at the same time, open G, open D at the same time. For violins, open A, open E. For violas, open C, open G. These kind of practice, and in front of the mirror, to make sure you're in the middle and not too close to the fingerboard. This kind of practice will help you a lot to really understand how to just play on both strings without really using pressure, but making sure the balance and the angle and the follow through is proper. Okay. All right. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it helpful. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, if you find it helpful, and if you have any comments, questions, leave it down below, and hit that subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching.